Hello, hello, David, Mike. Can you hear me okay? As usual, I plugged in the microphone at the last minute. Tommy Taylor, hey. Ferdo Joe or Bushy, yo. Right on time. A little bit early. Yep, 100%. Okay. Good, good. We'll wait till everyone gets here. I just finished working on this one today, this raw chert Buffalo River. I had a big old step fracture in it. And I did a no talk video because I was not in the mood to explain everything. Because it was going to be frustrating. I knew it was going to be frustrating because it's a crunchy material, especially when it gets thin. It's a 8-to-1 ratio, so it's not too bad. Yeah, so I managed to thin it down okay, but it was like I thought. It was kind of crunchy toward the end and not very fun. Although it sharpens up well, I have fun sharpening these if it sharpens well. But if it crushes on the edges when I'm trying to sharpen it, that's when it's a pain in the butt. Like some of the obsidians will crush, some of the glass will crush. Yeah, glass is different. Different types of glass are different. Hey, Richard, let's nap. Yeah, well, the napping live streams are on Wednesday. Friday night is just goof around time. Mike says, what are the different views from different family members about what you do? They all got used to it. So they're all like, oh, yeah, weird. Typical dad. Yeah, always doing something weird. And they didn't even take any interest in the drawings that I used to do when I was a draftsman. They would look at it. Okay, cool. Yeah. As soon as they understood what it was, they went, Dwayne, how's it going? So yeah, in general, my kids tried napping. I have 4 daughters and 2 sons. 2 of my daughters still like arrowheads, and they have collections of arrowheads, but they're like me. They just keep them in a box. Alan Cole, what's happening? What's up? Nothing much is up. No, this is just goof around time. Get your jokes ready. Yeah. I don't have any jokes prepared. Right? I just opened the book, the Yahi archery book. In case you don't know what it is. Yahi Archery by Sexton Pope. I just have it open just in case there's like a doldrum or nothing happening in the comment section. I'll start reading from the book. In the thumbnail, I've got this dovetail. I just napped this a couple days ago. And it will be in the auction. This is from Heat Treated Keokuk. But I should have left the bottom rounded. I put a little concavity in there by mistake. I thought the dovetails had that little concavity. Some of them do, but most of them don't. Anyway, it was okay. That's good quality stuff. Hey, David. You got 18 people. Awesome. Any minute now, Alan Cole's going to say, hit the like button. Alan Cole's driving home. We'll drop some folks in a few. Hey, Ralph Snyder. Hello. Hey. The usual suspects are here. Yeah, so whatever you guys want to talk about. We got 2 hours to talk about stuff. Everybody knows everything already? If everyone knows everything already, we'll just wrap it up in 1 hour. How's that? Let me see. I was going to try to ask myself a question. I mean, bring up a question so that I can ask it. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I can't think of anything right now. David says, I know nothing. Don't know anything? You should be able to ask plenty of questions then. But you might be like, I don't know what to ask. Tell me everything. I don't know what to ask for. Mike Tufts is here. Dwayne asks, are you going to nap a tomahawk head on camera? I don't know. To be honest, I don't like tomahawks. But I was recently asked to do something else on camera. Oh, yeah. Show how I make my woodworking tools, out of stone, flakes, and points and stuff. I make woodworking tools with stone tips. You've seen the ads already. I need to change that blade out. So I'll probably do that, but that takes forever, right? And since I have no interest in making a tomahawk head or a tomahawk, I might not do that on video. I said that I would, but I don't know. Let's see. Alan Cole says, nasty storm hitting Glass Buttes today. It should dry up next week. I'm hoping. Ralph Snyder. Let's see. I'm loving it. 2 hours of goodness. Let's see. Michael's here, Red-Eyed Patriot. Tagged you in a video of those refined bifaces earlier. Sweet thumbnail for the live stream. Tagged you in a video of those refined bifaces. Okay. I'll look to see. You tagged me, but I don't see no tags. Did you tag me on Instagram or Facebook? Because there's no tags in YouTube. Unless I don't know what's going on. Let's see. David Laylock, what is your favorite material to work with? Whatever is not too steppy. Doesn't matter. As long as it's not too steppy. And yes, material can be too steppy. Why is that a pain in the butt? Being really, really steppy is just, I don't know. You can't make much money from it, for one. Okay. And number two, it doesn't help you to learn how to make long flakes. You know what I'm saying? You got to practice on a material that you're able to make long flakes on. So I don't like it when it's steppy. Any other type of material I can work with, even if it's really, really tough or crushing on the edges or, snap and half-ish or difficult to abrade or too easy to abrade or has lots of layers. There's nothing worse than a material that's way too steppy. Yeah. I'll look for that refined bifaces video, Michael. Ed Gould's here. Let's see. Pushy says, my wife is watching some stupid TV show. I have my headphones on. Good cheater move. Jesse's here. Hey, guys. Nice blade on the last video. Well, thanks. Did you see my no talk video earlier? The rest of you guys probably got a notification or whatever. I didn't want to narrate that one because that was going to be a pain. And yes, it was a pain. Let's see. When you go to your YouTube notifications, look at the top and click mentions. When I go to my YouTube notifications, go to the top and look at mentions. All right, it is right there.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I figured I'd take a minute and show you guys these refined bifaces that I got from Jack Crafty the other day in his auction. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with them yet, but I think I'm going to make a couple knives and a couple spear points. These are not finished yet. They're just refined bifaces. You can make them in just about anything. That's a nice piece of triple flow or banded obsidian. You see right through it in some places. Wish I had some light to shine behind it. This one's kind of bubbly, kind of opaque obsidian. You can still see through it though. Some really nice pieces of material here.
Yeah, so those were a collection. I forget how many, 7 bifaces. Yeah, I'm glad you got that one, Michael. I know you were asking for a bunch of bifaces earlier. I didn't get around to doing those, and I finally did a collection like that for the auction. Let me see. What did I miss? I'm just missing a bunch of people saying hi to each other. Anyone else join us that was not here earlier? Justin's here. Justin Cornelius. I heard the sigh at the sweat stage, and you blasted through it. Awesome. Yeah. It was, keep fingers crossed. Nail biter time. Jim Cooper is here. Let's see. Alan Cole says, put in order of bad to good, crispy, crunchy, flakery, steppy. The worst is steppy, and number 2 is tough. Like rhyolite tough. And then snap and halfish, and then crunchy on the edges. I'll probably forget that order later on, but right now that's what my opinion is. Ed Gould said, did you do any videos this week? No, I took 2 days off. I took off Wednesday and Thursday. I finally made a video earlier today, but I didn't do any napping. I just slept for 2 days, basically. Just did errands and then slept. What else did I do? I was supposed to work on sinew bowstrings, but I didn't do it. I got a stack of to-dos, and my sister actually called me the other day or texted me. She says, what you doing? And then I sent her a little meme where there's a cat tucked in under the covers, and the response was, this is me when I have lots and lots of things to do, but instead I'm taking a nap. That's what I did for 2 days. I still got a ton of stuff to do, but that's what I did for 2 days. Nothing. Let's see. Jim Cooper says, thanks for the comments on my first crack at Buffalo River. Yeah. Buffalo River's cool stuff. Mike Tuff says, yes, glad Friday is here, soaking the old dogs in Epsom salt right now. Yikes. Yeah. I don't like sore feet. That's for sure. I did go for a walk today, and I did go for a walk yesterday too. Yeah, that was good. But my feet didn't get sore. Yeah. I bought some good boots and some good shoes for a change. I walked down to the park, and I made a mistake of not looking for the landmines or the dog poop. Yeah. My good shoes got pooped on. Yeah, I stepped in a bunch of it at the park. Let's see. Justin says, heck yeah, R&R needs to happen every so often. Yeah. Jordan's here. Napped some Owie Jasper last night. Flaked almost too easy. It was pretty nice. It was a pretty piece. Cool. Jesse, proud of you taking 2 days off. Good for you. You were refreshed and pulled off that blade today. Yeah. I didn't want to attempt that blade unless I was fully rested. Yeah. Ed Gould says, don't burn out. I will try not to burn out. Oh no, long grenades. Yeah, I stepped on several grenades and several mines. I wasn't even paying attention until I started walking home, and I looked, let's see, how much mud am I going to track into the house? And I looked, and what did I do? Don't forget to smash the like button, says Red Eyed Patriot. Jordan says, you need 20 more likes. Oh, yeah. I guess you got to crack your knuckles or something, stretch your fingers so you'll be able to push that button. Yeah. That stepping in dog poop's good luck, says Bill. Well, good then. I got plenty of good luck then. Jim Cooper says, Owahi is how it's pronounced. Comes from Idaho. Very pretty stuff. Owahi. Okay. Comes from Idaho. Pretty stuff. Various grades of workability. Interesting. I never heard of it. You ever hit a lawn grenade with a weed eater? Don't ask me how it tasted. Let's see. I've hit plenty of them with a weed eater. Yes. But, you know, in my old house in Texas, the stuff dries up in 30 minutes. So all we get is little bits in powder, you know. It doesn't fly like a wet poop. Yeah. It just kind of blows up. You ever hit one with a rotary mower? Oh, yeah. Justin says, thanks for the reminder. Yeah, I got to remind you guys. Hit the like button or whatever. Yeah. Jordan says, yeah, Jim, it was definitely the easiest flaking I've experienced lately. Richard Folkman, Mr. Crafty, I was given on a birthday an 8-inch dovetail spearhead type point from a market mall in Fort Worth, Texas. It was fake for good money. People still faking out. You are not. If people are still faking out people. But from a market mall in Fort Worth, what's a market mall? I haven't heard it called that. If it's like a flea market or something. I already forgot how to pronounce that. Rock. Oahe. Okay. Oahe River is at the southern Oregon-Idaho border area. Beautiful canyon. I see. Mike says, do you think anything would be changed if the Indians made tools out of meteorites instead of just beads? No. Steel is just a little bit, or iron is just a little bit harder than copper. Okay. What makes the iron hard is when you add carbon to it and turn it into steel. Yeah. Since copper didn't change anything, basically, the meteorite iron wasn't going to change anything either. You know what I'm saying? Copper didn't change the whole ball game, so steel wouldn't have either. If they had, a lot more meteorites available. Yeah, most of the time the copper was used for ornamentation and not for tools. Although there are copper tools in the copper culture in North America. There are a lot of tools associated with the copper culture, but most of the stuff is ornamental. Yeah, for good reason. You can shine it up and it gets all beautiful. Let's see. Ralph Snyder says, I was weed whipping for a landscape company and hit a turd, went all over my face. Oh, dang. That's not good. Richard says, it's like a flea market. Yes. Okay. So market mall is like a flea market. Jordan says, they'd be all spaced out, Ed. One of these years, I'll make it to Glass Buttes, Alan. Yeah. Ed Gould's all question marks. What's all question marks there, Ed? It's funny. Mike Tufts. I remember as a kid making snowmen and rolling up dog turds from the yard. Yeah, that's funny. Jordan Kirkpatrick. Sorry, Mr. Ed. Don't know what I typed, Ed. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, a lady came up to my house today from the city, and she goes, "You live here, right?" I said, "Yeah." "Oh, okay. So we're going to be planting trees. So we're just going to let you know that we're looking for spots that are available, next to the street, and we're going to plant some trees." I said, "Okay, all right, cool, sounds good." So I got two stakes put in the front. Uh, Between the street and the sidewalk, there's a little strip of grass. So they put two stakes in front of my house instead of just one. I saw one down the road a little bit in a clear spot, but I guess since she thought I was friendly, she put two stakes for two trees. Let's see. Yeah, it's a real crappy snowman when you've got those turds all rolled up in it. That's for sure. My yards were never that bad. Yeah. Although I try to keep up with it. You know, I try to keep the lawn relatively free of those. And it helps me to check what the dogs have been getting into. I've found styrofoam. Well, not styrofoam. I've found that spongy foam in the dog turds. I found threads all rolled up because they like to tear up their bedding. My dogs always tear up their bedding, so they're always eating some of that stuff. Let's see. Mike Tuff says we were kids. It was frozen solid. We didn't care. We used it as his eyes and buttons. Yeah, frozen turds. Yeah. Jim says, I sent you an email with a couple of pictures of Oahe Jasper. Now, let's see. You're going to make me look at my email. Make me push these wrong buttons and stuff. Okay, so let's see. I think I see it. Let's see. It comes up like this. I can't see anything. Let's see. Let me adjust the brightness. Where is it? Display. Where's display? There it is. I got to turn the brightness way down to see what's in the emails. All right. This is what I get, Jim. I can't see nothing. You got to download. But don't send another one. I think it'll take a few minutes to download these pictures, but I think it'll work. Okay, we got one. It's Oahe Jasper. It looks like landscape, like it's a painting. All right, let's see if it works better if I turn it. Can't see? Oh, I can see, yes. Yeah, it looks like landscape with a blue sky. And what else do we got? Yeah, I've seen it actually. I have seen this stuff. Yeah. That one looks like some kind of a pendant or a polished piece. Okay, come on. That's a good one. Let's see. Yeah, very cool. All right. What did I miss? Let's see. Snow's almost gone. Still 3 feet around the house, says Bushy or Ferdo Joe. Dang, that's still a ton. I know that it was coming off your roof. Yeah. Let's see. Ralph Snyder, Patrick, any idea about what trees they're planting? No, I have no idea. They'll probably just pick them at random. Patrick is the Lorax. Forgive me, but I forget what the Lorax is. Justin says, Patrick, any projects or ideas you're excited for in the near future? Still waiting on some bow making videos. Yeah, just bows and arrows. I straightened out an arrow shaft today. This is for Joe Barry. I got to put the fletching. I got to paint the shaft mint. I got to put the knock. It's going to be a wooden insert, and then I got to put the fletching. So I got to put the wooden insert in first for the knock, wrap it with sinew, and then paint the shaft mint, and then put the feathers in there. And then I'm going to age it to make it look a little older. I'll probably rub some oil with a little bit of chocolate powder to simulate dirt, and then I'll ship it off. I've got that 100% chocolate powder. I use that for like a brownish stain, or you can use coffee, instant coffee. I used to use instant coffee for that too. But yeah, bows and arrows are the only thing, plus stone tool woodworking. Yeah. Anything else is just work. Those are the only things that seem to be fun and exciting. Let's see. Bushy says, a year ago, our melon newt ate a t-shirt and out it came covered in you know what. Charles Land, very smell my tail. What does that mean? R. Snyder, let's see. Jesse says, make them plant you Osage so you can snip a couple limbs. Yeah, they'll probably plant what we have already. It's a type of cherry. It's got little berries in the fall that the birds really, really like. And there's several planted in the neighborhood on the public land, that little strip of grass between the sidewalk and the street, that public access. I don't know if it's called access, but it's a little strip of grass that they plant trees in. And they plant trees that attract wildlife, birds, right? Birds like to nest in this particular tree, and it has berries, and it's a type of choke cherry or something like that. I got to look it up. That's probably what they planted, or they're going to plant. They haven't come around yet to do it. They just stuck the stakes in the ground. Let's see. Jim Cooper says it's also called landscape or picture jasper. Well, that makes sense. I would have known it from that if you had said that at first. Let's see. Jordan says, looks just like that. Yeah. Nice point. Yep. Now, when you sent the pictures, I forget, did you make those? Are those stuff that you own, or did you make them, or did you sell them? Did you buy them from somebody? What is the details, Jim? Let's see. Osage orange would have been good, but it takes forever to grow. So I'll be 70 by the time I get something out of that. Ed Gould asks, that jasper is tough, isn't it? I don't know. Lorax from Dr. Seuss. The Lorax from Dr. Seuss. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. Jim Cooper says it can be, but it can also be really nice, and usually can be cooked a bit if it's tougher. That jasper is usually nice. Okay. Usually what I find is most attractive stones are the hardest to knap. It's not always the case, but it seems that way. Walnut makes a good brown stain. Yeah, but walnut has to be, you have to add something to it, like steel wool or something to get it darker. Yeah. You can take, the walnut husks, stick them in water and soak them for a few days, but the water's never really dark until you add something in it, like steel wool or something, and then mix it around. Then it becomes a dark stain, right? Yeah. Jesse says, yes, Jim, I made a couple points from slabs I bought in that green picture jasper. It was hard as hell, but heat treated it. It was awesome. There you go. Mike Mason, Lorax, the guardian of the forest, protector of the trees. That was in Dr. Seuss? Interesting. Ed Gould says, I got a 40-pound chunk that ended up 95% gray and was tough, but pretty uniform. You got a 40-pound chunk of that picture, Jasper? Wow. Ellen Cole says, why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Raphael, hey, Raphael. Crabapple may be very common. No, they're not going to plant crabapple. I should look it up. I have it in my plant ID, but I don't think I took pictures of that particular plant. I have that tree in the back. The birds really like it. I'm trying to remember. It's a type of choke cherry, or it's choke cherry, something like that. It's not serviceberry, although birds like serviceberry for sure. Let's see. Let's see. Jordan says, Mr. Ed, I've been told it's tough, but my uncle must have cooked it. It flaked well. Yeah, that picture, Jasper. It seems like you need to heat it. Jesse says, why don't witches ever have children? Their boyfriends have Halloweenies. Oh, that's so stupid, it's funny. Mike Mason, service berries? Nope. Brutus, hey, Brutus. Howdy. Been waiting for the link notice to show up. It finally did. Yeah, it's usually an hour late to show up, these notices. Justin Cornelius says, you can graft good cherry branches onto those sterile trees. I heard about some folks doing that for shoots. Yeah. That is true. I could graft some onto the tree. Yep. Charles Land. The forest guardians wore armor woven from decay, a paradox of fragility and resilience. I don't know what that means. Ralph Snyder. They plant Branford pear trees around here. The birds eat the fingernail-sized pears. Branford pear has little bitty pears? That's interesting. Never heard of it. Jim Cooper says, no, those pics I picked up off of Google. Also, Patrick, I have a couple of movie suggestions that I found in YouTube, free movies. Have you seen Quickly Down Under? Yeah, I saw that movie. Yep. Not too impressed. Sam, hey, great to see you. Thanks for your time. Oh, you're welcome. Jim Cooper says, the other is called Alpha, about a caveman actually has a couple decent napping scenes in it. Alpha. I got to check on that one. Alan Cole asks, what do you call fake spaghetti? An impasta. I think you posted that joke before. Ed Gould, my birthday is 30th of October, and I had kids. Oh, dang. Yeah. They had fun with that one, I bet. Yes. Let's see. Mike says, ever make a point with a Dremel out of wood? Imagine the wickedness that could be made. Yeah, I've made wooden points, but not with the Dremel. I used Ipe wood, IPE, Ipe, and I made arrowheads out of Ipe for actually at little dart points. They work really good until you hit a rock. They'll stick in a tree. The Ipe is hard enough to stick in almost anything. Holy cannoli, Alan. Stylely Designs. Hey, Alpha was a great movie. I need to look that up. Okay, let me adjust the brightness of my screen now. It's too dark for me to actually read stuff. So hold on. Hold on while I take forever to do stuff. For movie The Train.
My father always told me, survival is never certain. And when there are no more leaders to follow, you must become one.
How long is that trailer? That's only halfway through. Anyway, what did I miss? Let's see. Mike Tuff says, I think carving tools would also make a cool wooden point. Oh, yeah. I've seen cool wooden points. Some of these guys out there are making them out of really nice wood. Jim Main, hey, how's it going? You're running late? That's all right. Let's see. We still got a while to go. Yeah, hour and a half. Yes? We only been on for 33 minutes? Dang. Let's see. Jim Cooper says, I don't know if you remember or not, but Last of the Dogmen is also on YouTube. It's a great film, worth a watch. Okay. Yeah, this one looks like there's a lot of drama, this Alpha movie. And it looks like they were hand-thrown spears instead of atlatl darts. But as long as the story is good, I don't mind watching them. Yeah. See, I don't really look for authenticity in movies anymore, but if the story is good, I'll watch it. They don't get any of the good stuff correct. You know, they don't get the napping correct usually. They don't get the hunting correct, or the clothing, or the hairstyles. I mean, everyone's always got that long hair. Back in the day, long hair like that would be very hard to maintain. So they either put it in braids, or they tie it back, or they pluck it all out except for one patch back here or something, or they cut it really short, like a bowl cut. They have the grooming back in the old days. If you look at people that live out in the bush, how should I say this? The grooming back in the old days had to be very efficient because of head lice. And then you have to make sure that it's not going to interfere if you're hunting or fighting. You don't want the hair to suddenly cover your eyes up, as an example. So males always had their hair pinned away from their face somehow. And this goes way back in many different cultures. And you can see it today in cultures that live out away from civilization. None of them have long hair that's just kind of dangling. Anyways, a little bit of a rant there. Where am I? What did I miss? Let's see. Jesse says, I saw a video last night when I couldn't sleep from Meat Eater. Experimental dissection or processing of a buffalo carcass with clovis blades and flakes. Oh, yeah. Someone else mentioned that in a chat a few weeks ago. Yeah, I've seen that one also. Charles Land says, they sense the ancient pact, the symbiosis that fueled the forest's pulse. Ralph Snyder, Charles Land talks about things that are over my head. Sometimes I'm the dullest knife in the drawer. Yeah, Charles goes on these literary escapades. Let's see, where else? What did I miss? I missed a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I missed a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Mike Mason, how do you tell a cow from a bull? It's either one or the other. How do you tell a cow from a bull? Yeah, I read that already. You posted it twice. Ed Gould says, that was a good movie. Cool. Charles Land, not really Snyder. There is no thing that lives or has ever lived that is not a combatant as such. Life soldiers, no mistake, just is. I agree. Jesse says, dang, you can hear and see your phone surprisingly well on live stream. Yeah, I have to adjust the lighting or the brightness of the screen, and I got to put it right up next to the microphone. Let's see. It's not a little removed, man. Stephen Stacy, hey, that was a great movie. Smallzilla made it. What did I miss? You missed a ton of stuff already. Yeah. We've been showing movie trailers the whole night. You missed about 6 movie trailers. Really? No. Not really. Let's see. Still today, that one truth leaves man named and afraid. I don't know what that is. There's only one truth that would leave a being naked and ashamed, that life was to perish, and in that a soldier was made. Mike Mason says, I own that movie. My dog watched it with me once. He prefers shows about horses. Your dog can actually see what's on TV? My dogs just end up barking once in a while, but other than that, they're not just interested in TV. Let's see. Charles Land, like the flower in the field, Snyder eyes. Okay. Mike Tufts, some drama in the Stone Ages. Oh, yeah. There's always drama in these Stone Age movies. Smallzilla says, we talking about movies? Yeah. What were some movies you have seen, Patrick, that left lasting impressions on you, good memories or entertainment-wise? Some movies you have seen that left lasting impressions? Oh, gosh. Are we talking primitive stuff or everything? The stuff that I like is mainly pure fantasy or pure fiction that has lots of action. Yeah. But I also like movies like Braveheart and Gladiator. I like World War II movies. Most war movies. That one about Napoleon, the latest one about Napoleon, was pretty good. I watch a lot of war films, documentaries, I mean, and a lot of war movies. Joaquin Phoenix was playing Napoleon in that movie. That's like the last war movie that I actually watched, the last full-length war movie. I don't watch TV or movies very much. But, yeah, I don't have something that would give me a lasting impression in a movie. I'm trying to think. If I had to think this hard, that means none of the movies left any lasting impression. All right. Charles Land, life has wings. Humanity is the name. Very real wings, a very real seat with infinity. It is real, not dream, this kingdom at hand, that thing. Tommy Taylor, Alpha is a good movie. Yeah, I might watch that one. Tommy Taylor, Alpha, yeah. Jim Cooper says, well, I said decent, meaning it's closer than what I've seen elsewhere. Okay. Ed Gould says, there's a scene where they make blades and you were either made a man or not by the blade you made. Okay, I see. Jesse says, I used to get pissed on the historical movies too when they got things wrong. Now I don't get mad. I just watch for entertainment. I used to get mad at Civil War movies when uniforms were wrong. Yeah. I used to get mad at World War II movies when the uniforms were wrong. Yeah. I don't watch too much on the Civil War stuff. R. Snyder. Seems like natives in the Southeast would shave their heads except for a ponytail. That was pretty common among most Native Americans, either in North or Central America. Yeah. But they didn't shave their heads. In case you didn't know, they plucked their hair out. Let's see here. Hacksaw Ridge was good. Hacksaw Ridge. I think I remember that. I mean, it sounds familiar. I think it is good. Yeah. Keith Ricketts. Hey, hit the like button. Yep. Hit the like button. Let's see. Justin Cornelius says, my cat loves TV, mostly birds and bunnies. Cassiopeia can't get enough. You named your cat Cassiopeia? You probably didn't name her that. Mike Mason, yeah, my dog can see and watches the TV. And when the horses are running, he's yelling at them to slow down in the house. Stephen Stacy, Hacksaw Ridge was on the same line as Braveheart. Hacksaw Ridge. Is that a Vietnam movie? Ralph Snyder, The Memphis Belle, Red Tails, Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, I did like Saving Private Ryan when I went to go see it in the theater. But every time I've watched it after that, I like it less and less. I don't know why. Buddha Cat. Hey, I think that's you. Let's see. I don't recognize that name. I've been watching your videos and even started hitting rocks with other rocks. I study blacksmithing and it's been causing me to struggle with knapping. I'm used to my media being ductile and pliable. Yeah, it'll be very different getting into knapping. That's for sure. Yeah, it's totally different than anything else, basically. Not only is it a game of art, but it's a game of chance. Yeah, it's like gambling. Making one of these things is like gambling. You're gambling with your life and with the life of the rock too. Yes. Let's see. Smallzilla says, started work on my 1-year knapping anniversary blade. Having trouble with direct percussion because I don't practice it often. No large spalls for it. Any helpful tips from an expert on direct percussion spalling? Direct percussion. The easiest thing to use is a good quality bopper made of copper. Mike Tuff's, the latest ones I've gotten from him are very top or front heavy. Those work the best. You have to rate them at boppers. The top heavy boppers are the best. And then you get into other types of boppers, long handle, short handle, heavy handle, light handle. Some of the boppers are not heavy on the tip. And then you get into the solid metal. And then you can get into like the stuff that I did one time with a steel cap on a steel pipe. That's kind of in between. It's not too heavy, not too light. But get a bopper, a high quality bopper, if you really want to enjoy spalling. Otherwise, you're going to struggle, especially if you get antlers like moose or deer to start your spalling, and hammerstones. Hammerstones, antlers for spalling, are going to drive you nuts. I always recommend you can always do the natural stuff later. If you want to enjoy flint knapping and start getting into the mindset, try something that works. Smallzilla started work on my 1 year. Okay, yeah, I read that one. The Patriot and Last of the Mohegans. Yeah, Last of the Mohegans was actually pretty good. Yeah. See, that movie, Last of the Mohegans, gets better and better as it progresses. Some movies, they kind of get stale. Yeah. The Patriot, that was okay too, yes. Except it gave me anxiety. I hate it when his son died. Yeah. Or when I think he lost 2 sons in that movie. Spoiler alert. Band of Brothers. I never liked Band of Brothers, although the uniforms were perfect. Let's see. Yeah, in Band of Brothers, I didn't like the actors. The actors rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know who was casting for that, but the actors rubbed me the wrong way. Let's see. Indiana Jones. Yeah, that was a fun movie. A lot of my friends back in the day, they would go crazy over Star Wars. They would go crazy over like Indiana Jones, and they would just get very like Blade Runner, that kind of thing, and the Matrix movies. They would get all excited. I don't know, movies don't get me excited like that. Let's see. Frodo Joe, Last of the Mohegans took place right here in my stomping grounds. Yeah, Last of the Mohegans is actually a pretty good movie. I enjoyed that quite a bit. And yeah, it's set in the Northeast. Yeah. Apocalypto was okay too. Yeah. Apocalypto got more interesting as the movie progressed also. Let's see. Mike Mason. It's a stretch to remember, but I think Hacksaw Ridge was World War II. There was an army group symbolized by a blue Statue of Liberty. They were badasses. The Marines claimed them as they are us. I see. Was it the Pacific Theater? The Hacksaw Ridge Pacific Theater? Because that's what I'm getting these images of tropical settings. Frodo Joe, Sir William Johnson home with the rifle sound of my house. I don't understand what that is. Ralph Snyder. That movie took place in New York? Yeah. Last of the Mohegans is the Northeast, in the Iroquois Nation, which is New York and the Great Lakes. Well, kind of in the Great Lakes area, that kind of thing. Let's see. He attacked Fort William Henry, 1765, thereabouts. Yeah. Mike Tuff says, I have 2-inch copper caps now. Going to need some muscles to swing it. Oh, dang it. Those are the kind you need to get. Heavy copper boppers if you want to enjoy spalling. Now, they have also copper hammers. I never enjoyed a copper hammers or any of the natural materials. Although hammerstones, if you have a good one, sometimes you can find a sweet hammerstone and it'll last for a little while and then it'll break and you'll cry and you'll never be able to get another one like it. Yeah. Until you try dozens of hammerstones. Don't worry, you'll find out. Let's see. Back to the Future. Yeah, I remember that one. Didn't like that one either. Um, let's see. Yeah, if the actors turn me off in a movie, I don't like it that much. I mean, I liked. Let's see, what's his? I can't remember the actors' names. I mean, I like the actors, but not in that movie for some reason. Michael J. Fox. I liked him as an actor in the sitcom, but in that movie, I didn't like him. Buddha Cat, what do you think of the idea that development of the computer began with the chipping of the first flint? No, I don't think so. No, the chipping of the flint and the working with stone, it shaped our brain because it requires risk management and knowing when to quit and doing the same thing over and over and over until you get different results. Okay. Most people these days, they don't want to go through the effort of doing any of that stuff. They don't want to deal with risk management. They don't want to develop a skill that takes years. And they just don't understand that you can do things over and over and over again the same way and get different results eventually. They think that's insanity. It's not insanity. That's what's called practice. But people these days, they're upside down, all messed up. But chipping a flint, it shaped our brains so that we could develop skills that involved the management of risk, like gambling. That's probably why we're gamblers too, because Flintknapping is gambling. Yep. Let's see. Right. Hey, Gimmicky Glick said Willie Nelson looked like the first of the Mohegans in a comedy sketch. I've seen Willie Nelson live at a concert once. And man, there were clouds of smoke in that concert. My dad liked Full Metal Jacket. He was in Vietnam. Yeah, Full Metal Jacket was pretty good, but I didn't like the ending that much. The beginning of Full Metal Jacket, awesome. Toward the end, I don't know. I don't know. The Big Lebowski. I still have not seen The Big Lebowski. Yeah, I got to see that one. Charles Land says, I took up sewing and been making teepee covers. That's heavy duty, large sewing. Yeah. Smallzilla says, lots of movie talk, but I remember you mentioning you had 12 kids at 6. Makes me curious if you ever happened to play any video games with the kiddos, or are most of your kids the outdoorsy type? No, most of my kids never played video games. And when they did not want me to play. Yeah. They would play Guitar Hero a lot. And there were some other games that they played. But they didn't want me to play. No. They would just go, Dad, the controller doesn't work. You need another controller. Okay. I'll get the controller. I'll order it for Amazon. No, I want it. Can you please go to the store and get it? Please. Tonight. Okay. All right. Let's see. Where do you go? Where am I? Brutus says, Mike Tufts, do you use straight lead or an alloy of some sort to fill the copper caps? I think Mike Tufts uses an alloy, but it's really, really heavy. Jesse says, the battle scene in Apocalypto was pretty cool. The arrows they shot had a foreshaft, which was cool. But before shooting, the oscillated up and down badly, like maybe spine was too weak. No, have you shot an atlatl dart with a heavy point? It does that. And it goes, zzz, it vibrates like this. And I think that's where they got the notion of the flying serpent god. They got it from the motion of the atlatl dart. It looks like a flying serpent. And when you shoot an atlatl dart, it goes, okay? You can hear the flutter. And if you go to Chichen Itza and you slap your hand together within the courtyard in front of a pyramid, it goes just like the sound of an atlatl dart. Okay? The slap echoes. Okay? And they also say that that is the symbol, or that's the sound that one of the tropical birds makes in the area, that sound. Right? It's supposed to imitate. So the connection between the echo, the flying atlatl dart that looks like a serpent, and the bird got combined together, I think, in their mythology. So no, the spine was not too weak. You just got to try making a long atlatl dart with a heavy point, and you'll see how much it flexes. And you'll see, especially with large fletching, that it'll make that sound when you shoot it. What makes you kind of think, are they shooting at animals that can dodge out of the way real quick? Or are they shooting the atlatl darts at people? It's a good question. Because, I mean, an animal can hear that dart coming right away. And it moves a lot slower than an arrow. Smokes, hey! Smokes is here. Good evening, all. Hope everyone is doing good. Yep, everyone's doing good, I think. I don't want to speak for everybody. Ed Gould says, I've got some solid rod whatsoever, 3 inches. All righty, you can use that. Hey, Miguel. Hey. Wow. Haven't seen you in a while. Mike Mason says, yeah, Pacific Theater, even if I'm wrong about which war, it's definitely in Asia. Yeah, okay. Hexler Ridge. Trying to remember the actor's name. Nick Nolte? Is he in that movie? I like that movie. If that's the movie, I liked it. Anyone use a solid copper billet? Pros and cons? Solid copper billet works well. You have to get used to it, though. Yeah. Yeah, have to get used to it, and you need some heavy-duty grinding equipment to keep it dressed properly. What is a heavy-duty grinding equipment? Just a bench grinder or something that could take the copper off really fast. Or a belt sander. I got a small belt sander. If you got a bigger one, it's better for these solid copper boppers and billets. It does need to be dressed quite often because you'll abuse it for sure. You'll get used to it, and you'll use the solid copper for everything after a while. Charles Land says, I made one from a billboard vinyl. Crazy looking thing, black with a casino ad. I don't know what that is. Frodo Joe, Saratoga, New York, Lake George, Montcalm, and Wolf General Monroe, the real story. Yeah. Last of the Mohicans. Let's see. What did I miss? R. Snyder says, I think Hacksaw Ridge was about a medic that scaled a cliff to save wounded soldiers in World War II Pacific Theater. Okay. Maybe I have not seen that one. Alan Cole says, Snyder, I believe you are right. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it then. Mike Tufts, Brutus, I use lead and antimony. So Mike Tufts makes his boppers with lead and antimony. And, you can see them in the videos, my latest videos. They are very heavy. I used one on the live stream, the last live stream. I recommend them. Yep. Charles Land. Man would have never left his mammoth in the forest except in chains. Danny Collins. Hey, Danny, how's it going? I'm behind on the chat. I go off on tangents and I miss all these comments. Mike Mason, Justin Cornelius, an immediate thing to note is that there would be less weight, so you would be striking harder and faster. Jesse says, unfortunately, with computers, smartphones, everything is so fast. The newer generation is all about instant gratification. If something takes time, it seems like many don't want to stick with it. Yeah, that's pretty common. They don't have patience. Yeah. Charles Land, if you hit swine with a cortisol overload, they go feral, grow hair, and all that. Do the same with man, and you get Cushing's syndrome. There's no back to the garden. Yeah, man doesn't go feral. We're way too domesticated. Yeah. I mean, we have domestication traits very heavily. There's a how should I say this? We are heavily domesticated. The traits we have been developed over long periods of time of domestication of ourselves. Yeah, so we don't go back to feral state. You're right about that, Charles. Let's see. Mike Mason says, that poor woman. Which poor woman? R. Snyder, yes. The medic was retrieving the wounded without a gun because of his faith. Very brave to do that without a weapon. So he was a conscientious objector. I might have seen that movie. It's totally different than the one I was thinking about. Charles Land says, conquerors and gardeners the same. Life's soldiers, guardians of a legacy that transcends all existence. Danny Collins says, hey, Ed. Hey, Mike. Saying hi to everybody. Tommy Taylor, what's good about the live stream? Less than an hour in. Already talked about Frozen, doctors, trees, and movies, plus some napping talk. Yes. Hopefully I'm catching up with the chat, too. Mike Mason says, Charles Land, better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Yeah, it depends on where you are as a gardener in the war, because if the war is taking place like in World War II in Europe and you live in the country of Chile across the ocean, I'd rather be a gardener in Chile than a warrior during World War II, standing in a garden in France. Yeah. But yeah, they taught me how to blow things up and kill people when I was in the Army. Hey, Danny, grape project is looking good. What grape project? I need to look at Danny's videos more often. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Charles Land, $10. Thank you. Rye has joined and become a member. Thank you. I missed a bunch of chat. Holy moly. Smallzilla says, an atlatl is on my list of things to make before a bow. What should I expect for atlatl dart point strength if I use chert? Should I keep the darts thick? Is there a good shape to use for practicing that's less prone to breaking? You have to experiment with your atlatl and different darts. I forget what the formula is, but when you're shooting, it's got to shoot, it's going to wobble, but it has to shoot straight. If the tip goes up like this, I forget if that means it's too stiff or too loose. If the tip goes down like this, it's not good either. So when you're shooting the atlatl dart, try shooting it the same every time and watch the tip. If it goes down, it's bad. If it goes up, it's bad. It has to go straight. Okay. I do the same thing with atlatl darts as I do with arrows. I shoot them without fletching to see if they will fly straight. Now it works with short distances. But yeah, And also with the ladle darts, it's sometimes it'll spiral like this, and that means that it's too loose or something's wrong with the fletching. There's more to it, Smallzilla, than just constructing formulaically, like following dimensions, 18-inch long at ladle, and then maybe a 60-inch dart. And that works with a 3/4 inch diameter, or let's say 5/16, not 5/16, 7/16 inch dowel. Instead of going by a formula, you have to experiment with many different darts on the ladle that you make. Okay? All right. Ask Butter finally got here. I'm behind on the chat. Okay, so hold on. Smallzilla says, let's see. Okay, I read that already. Jim Cooper, there's another movie that you would enjoy, Patrick, called Walk in the Woods with Robert Redford and Nick Nolte about a couple of older guys who hike the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, I think I might like that one. I haven't heard of that one. Brutus says, I have both, but I prefer the solid copper boppers. I don't see it needs that much dressing, but I know nothing. Well, when I work with copper, I tear it apart. I really do. And it mushrooms on me right away. With a solid copper bopper, I get it mushrooming right away. I don't know about other guys. They say, I don't have a problem with it. What's the matter with yours? You've been using that for 20 years. You've only been napping for 10. Yeah, it's true. It looks like I double abuse it compared to everybody else. I don't know what it is. Jesse says, the arrow spines seem too weak. Right before the shot, the tip of the arrow flexed up and down. The ladles looked the same as when I threw some. Good stuff. R. Snyder says, Harbor Freight has a small belt sanders that would work well on prepping tools. Yeah, I got one of those from, I don't know if I got it from Harbor Freight or Amazon. But yeah, Harbor Freight has good, like 1-inch wide belt sanders, vertical. They're good for tool dressing, yeah. Alan Cole says, I just face snapped a magnificent chuck eye. Chuck eye steak, yes. Stephen Stacy, I watched the last No Talk video, and I noticed you had a blunt end and a more fine point. What was the size of that rod, please? That rod size is 5/16 inch diameter, just slightly over 1/4 inch. Ferdo Joe or Bushy, I just emailed you a pic of Sir William Johnson's fortified home 3 miles from my house. He was British General, French and Indian War. Awesome. I'll look at that in a minute. I got to catch up with the chat. We sent this family running to Canada. Awesome. Let's see. Ellen Cole says, speak for yourself. I'm as feral as you know what. Mike Mason says, also, Nat Geo interviewed Al White. It's on YouTube. Good story. I know the guy personally. Oh, dang. Okay, I'm finally getting down toward the end of the comments, or no? Let's see. The teal pair on the super chat. Yeah. Stephen Stacy, I see 37 watching and only 18 likes. Okay, now there's 31 likes. Let's see. Smallzilla says, Danny Collins, been using your root beer shirt and hornstone. The hornstone definitely isn't for me, but the root beer is sweet. Quality stuff, man. Got any Georgetown nodules? Glassy Keokuk? I don't know about glassy Keokuk. I've got some. This is the Keokuk I got from Danny Collins. It's not glassy, but it's excellent. It's very easy to nap. It's as easy to nap as the Nap Easy stuff, I think. Well, I haven't napped a Nap Easy stuff. I can't get a good view of this. But anyway, Keokuk will never be glassy, I don't think, unless you overcook it. Let's see. Brutus says Georgetown is sold out. Hey, Robbie Bobby. Late as usual. Hello, everybody. Robbie usually comes in at the midpoint of the live stream after an hour or so. Ralph Snyder says, "Awesome, Alan. I had a fresh lake whitefish I caught yesterday in the St. Clair River. Lost 2 coho salmon. Wow. You're lucky you can eat fish from your rivers. The river we got, the Connecticut River here. I don't want to eat fish from here. They say you can, but I wouldn't do it. I have to travel about 20 minutes away to go to a nice, smaller river before I trust the fish. Too many industrial pollutants in here, in this area." Alan Cole says, "Sweet, Snyder. I heard that smoked whitefish is fantastic as well. I want to try it sometime." Yeah. Ed Gould says, "I was a Vulcan gunner in the Army 88 163 Abrams Vulcan." Wow. I think you told me that before, Ed. Yeah. R. Snyder, "Eating fish on Fridays for Lent." Hey, there you go. Where am I? Let's see. We got to shoot the 20 millimeter cannon in the Bradley fighting vehicle when I was in the National Guard. We got Bradleys in my unit. One of the few units that actually got the new Bradleys at that time. This was early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. It was fun cruising around with the Bradleys at that time. Although there was no GPS. The sights would get, the optics would get messed up if we were too rough downrange, burning over trees and chasing deer like we were chasing deer. And other stuff. It would knock out the optics. And then the oil sending unit would blow and the whole engine was shut down. There was a lot of problems with the initial Bradleys, but it was still fun to go on the range and fire the cannon, fire the coax machine gun. The commander and the gunner both had controls over the turret and the weapon, and we had separate sights. I was the commander. My gunner, we would switch off during the training between him firing and me firing. And we both qualified on the first round. I think there was 3 rounds. You had 3 opportunities to qualify on the 20 millimeter, and we both qualified first round, which was good. That was exciting. Anyways, let me get back to this. Let's see. Danny Collins says, "Smallzilla, I'm glad you're liking the root beer and do have good Keokuk. I'm about out of Georgetown." Oh, dang. Georgetown sold out pretty quick, I guess. Let's see. Brutus says he thinks he got most of it, Danny. R. Snyder says, "Yes, whitefish are fantastic smoked." Yep. Danny Moore, "Missed it. Dang. Why are you so late?" Danny Collins says, "Brutus, I'll be restocking the Georgetown soon." There you go. Charles Land, "Gotta run. Thanks again, man. When the minutes drag, Jack Crafty is the way." All righty. We'll see you later, Charles. Ralph Snyder, "Is Keokuk similar to Burlington?" It can be, yes. Burlington to me is not as nice as Keokuk. Fertile Joe or Bushy, "Keokuk is friendly to nap but dries my hands out." Yeah. Dan, hey Dan. "Have you ever napped tabular banded chert that's bedded or fractured successfully?" Yeah. A lot of times the stone near the cortex on tabular chert is good. So I skin it and I use the cortex flakes if the interior is messed up. Yeah, but I don't deal with the inner core of a tabular chert that's nasty. I just get rid of it. Sometimes I heat treat it. Once in a while, it'll come out nice. I think about 50% of the time you can heat treat tabular chert concrete that's in the middle, and it'll be nice. Yeah, it'll behave. And banded chert, it's the same as regular chert. It just got bands in it. Yeah, chert doesn't seem to have difficulty in napping when it has bands or layers, what appears to be layers. It seems to be all, pretty consistent. There are other stones like petrified wood and stuff like that that has differences in consistency in the layers. Hey, Danny Moore gave me $5. Says he loves the channel. Awesome, thank you. What is a suspicious fish, Danny, or fishy? I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're trying to say, Mike Mason. Smoking whitefish ain't easy. What kind of smoking you talking about? Jim Cooper says, who here has seen the blue spiderweb obsidian from Mexico? Yeah, who has seen the blue spiderweb obsidian? I don't think I've ever seen a real piece of it. Just maybe pictures, and maybe a piece of it at a nap-in. People keep asking me where to get the Armenian obsidian, and there's a guy on Facebook and on eBay that sells it. And I provided a link to one person. He contacted me by email, and I sent him pictures of Armenian obsidian for sale on eBay, big slabs. And he goes, "That's not Armenian. It's not Armenian. That's not." And you look down at the seller, and he's shipping it from Armenia. It just probably didn't look like the Armenian obsidian that he's seen before. But to be fair, he probably was looking for a very specific type of Armenian obsidian. But some people are so funny. It's not Armenian obsidian, no. But he didn't look at it. And I told him, look down at the seller where it's coming from. It's actually shipping from overseas. Okay? He's probably watching. I still don't think it's Armenian. Let's see. Ralph Snyder says, Alan, I smoke all my fish with apple wood. There are lots of apple orchards near me. I buy the tree trimmings for my smoker. You buy the tree trimmings? Yeah. I guess I'm lucky around here. I can get apple anytime I want just by sneaking it from the side of the trail. I can cut. I don't do much cooking. I suppose if I did a lot of cooking, I would have to figure out how to get a whole tree. Yeah, chop down a little tree and sneak it out. Or go to the recycle center and see it, regularly check the landscape piles for people that chop up their apple trees. They don't like the crab apples around here. They don't like them in their yard, so I see a lot of them always trimmed down. Last year I noticed that there's a tree down the road. It's a crabapple tree. And the skunks and the possums, I guess, are eating the crab apples when they fall. But they also come around and check my yard for scraps because I throw out food scraps for them. And they were puking up the crab apple in my yard. Yeah, so it doesn't agree with their stomach very well. Let's see. Smoke says, I never knew anyone that smoked fish. Jesse says, I was showing my stepdad a beautiful obsidian point. He dropped it, hit the tip, and a beer-like flake ran down the entire side. Oh, yeah. That's what happens. Just from dropping it, yep. Alan Cole says, Snyder, nice. I have alder here and prefer it, and hickory. White oak would be another preference. I see. I usually just, the times that I have smoked and cooked meat here on open fire, I used maple. It was pretty good. Talking about obsidian makes me wish I hadn't taken a break, says Smallzilla. Hadn't taken a break from it to work with chert. It naps so easy. I'm going to have overshots galore when I go back to it from all this hard stuff I'm using. Yeah, at first you're going to ruin some obsidian for sure. Ed Gould says the smoked salmon at Safeway is pretty good. Good to know. R. Snyder says they sell the tree trimmings here for firewood. I see. Hopefully it's cheap. Mike Mason says, Smokes, you got to get a water bong. Okay, never mind. I think I see what you did there. Jesse says, that Armenia obsidian point you made was incredible with the silver or gray in it. Yeah, it was an exceptionally good piece. Very nice material. But that's just one variety of Armenia obsidian. I was lucky to get that as a gift. Mike Mason says, I wish I had alder here. I want to try it on smoked salmon so bad. Yeah, R. Snyder says, yes, those are good woods too. Yeah. I've got two types of maple back there. I've got sugar maple. I can tap the trees right now because right now the sap is flowing. The sap flows when it's freezing overnight and below 50 degrees during the day, between 40 and 50 degrees during the day. It's perfect right now because it's freezing overnight, but not during the day. This is when the sap is flowing in the maple trees. And we'll only have a week or two more of this kind of weather. But I'm not gonna do it because I don't eat sugar. I just was curious about how much I can get from this tree. I've got two trees. One is about 18-inch diameter, I would imagine, or maybe a little bit more. And the other one's maybe a little smaller than 18 inches. Smoke says, well, gotta work. It's calling. All right. I'll see you later. See you laters. Alan Cole says, Mike Mason, if you have a Cabela's Sportsman Warehouse or Bass Pro Shop, you should be able to get alder chips. R. Snyder says, I love that Armenian obsidian point. Yeah. Thanks. I'm curious about turning tapped sap into pitch, Mike Mason asks. You can't turn it into pitch. Not in the way you're thinking. Just imagine trying to turn maple syrup into some kind of pitch glue. You'll be better off just using straight cane sugar. You can turn cane sugar into a pitch glue or a pitch-like glue. Okay? A lot of people don't even think of that. You just put cane sugar in a pan with some water, mix it up, and boil it down. And it turns brownish. You can add pigment to it. You can add charcoal to it. You can add stuff to it, fibers, wood fibers, whatever. And yeah, you can use that to glue arrowheads. People don't think of it. But not tree sap. The best tree sap to use is the sap that is oozing from damage from the tree that comes out in springtime as a thick goo. That straight from the tree can be used as glue. You can warm it up. It'll get soft and sticky like chewing gum, and then you can apply that to the notch for the arrowhead. But to tap a tree to get the sap that's mostly water and then boiling it down, it doesn't work all that great. Yeah. How do I know? I don't know. Maple syrup turns into candy, says Ferdo Joe. Yep, it does. Brian Olson's here. Hey, Glass Buttes Knapping starts this weekend. I'm so excited. Yeah. I heard that you guys are going to get storms and rain and a bunch of nasty weather. Yeah. I need to get some spruce gum from spruce trees, or I'm just going to end up buying it from a guy in Maine. He sells spruce gum or spruce gum. And spruce gum can be chewed, and it turns into gum after a while. At first, it's really crackly and crumbly. You got to get your saliva mixed in with it. Keep spitting because you don't want to swallow that stuff. You keep spitting the liquid and the saliva from your mouth until finally it starts to soften up enough so that you can chew it. And then after a little while, the spruce gum becomes a chewing gum. Now, it doesn't last forever. It does break down, but there's an intermediate period where you can actually chew the spruce gum. But that's the period you can take it out of your mouth and use that gum to glue stuff like knife blades to knife handles, arrows to arrowheads to arrow shafts, and that kind of thing. I think the Native Americans would do that quite often in areas where there was spruce gum and spruce sap. Let's see. Mike Mason says, everything you said about that sap for pitch was exactly my thoughts were. Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad your thought experiment worked out to match reality. Yeah. I actually tried it and it was terrible. Let's see. Whitefish are hard to keep lit. Brian Olson says, lots of dedication, crazy people out there. Oh, yeah. Ed Gould says, they say we have 70s and 80s coming for the next week in Colorado. Oh, dang. That's too hot already. Alan Cole says, I'm sending you fur resin this spring and summer, Patrick. Awesome, Alan Cole. Yes. Jim Cooper says, you should see those poor guys trying to nap while dressed like Arctic explorers and digging into frozen ground for obsidian. Digging into frozen ground. Those guys are crazy. I'm assuming you're saying this about glass buttes. R. Snyder says, 12-inch diameter minimum size tree for tapping maple sap. Okay. I get 2 gallons of sap per tree per day. It takes 35 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. Wow. I saw a guy on YouTube a couple days ago. He took 2 gallons of maple sap and got like 4 ounces of maple syrup. So it takes a lot. Yeah. Let's see. Mike Tubbs says, FYI, if you drop your level on a hot plate unknowingly, it will explode. Very good to know. And good to know, Ralph Snyder. I didn't know you were tapping maple trees. Or maybe I forgot. I forget easy. Mike Tubbs says, I used to use a small line level to level my caps when I pour the lead. It must have fell into the hot plate below. Smallzilla says, gotta head out for the night. All right, we'll see you later, Harley. It was good to see you on a Friday stream. Excited for any new nappers you got planned, any new videos. Yeah, always have some videos every week. I'll try to do at least 3 napping videos per week. The most I've ever done was like 6 napping videos in 1 week, I think, or maybe 8. But I try to get at least 3 good napping videos every week, in addition to these live streams now. Jim Cooper says, glass buttes. Yeah, I don't know why they don't have the nap in late May or early June. Yeah. Jesse says, Jim, it gets rained out sometimes, huh? Ed Gould says, I might be getting older, or another old car this next week, a 1958 Buick Roadmaster 2-door hardtop. Oh, dang. Classic, right? A 58? Mike Mason says, I appreciate hearing about the tapping. Yeah, no problem. We need a new keeper in the group. What's a new keeper? Mike Tufts, add if you get a late 60s era GTO. I have some parts on eBay for sale right now. Mike Tuff says car parts for sale. I didn't know that. Not that I want any, but that's interesting. Jim Cooper says, Jesse, rain is if you're lucky. There's years they have been snowed out. Talking about glass buttes. Yeah. I got to go up there too. One of these days, I need to get a long piece of obsidian for a friend of mine. He wants a long blade. I said, yeah, what eventually I'll get a long piece, like a 20-inch long piece of obsidian or something like that. Mike Mason says, beekeeper, not new keeper. I can't fire you, Patrick. Alan Cole says, Glass Buttes does it twice a year, spring break and mid-September. I prefer September, but it's supposed to dry out next week. Okay. Interesting. I'm wondering if I have Glass Buttes as 2 different nap-ins on my nap-in list. Jesse says, I'm coming next year to Glass Buttes, but should get a new truck by then. My little SUV might not fare well on those roads. Yeah. It's one thing to think about. I would just go with my SUV anyway. I've got a Jeep Cherokee Latitude. That's my dad's old car. I'd probably take that up there, but maybe take 2 spares. I got to check the spare tire I've got right now that I'm thinking about it. I'm going to take the car down. I'm going to take it to New York soon. Let's see. Mike Tuff says, I sell all sorts of things on eBay, mostly antiques or vintage tools. Wow, interesting. Ed Gould says, Hust sold some old ones, 1936 Ford. Just sold some old ones. 1936 Ford 2-door humpback and a 1934 Ford 3-window coupe. Wow. Danny Collins says, if I can make that 20-inch piece of obsidian happen, are you going to nap it on video? Yes. If you can make the 20-inch piece of obsidian happen, yeah, I'll nap it on video. Oh, yeah. It may take me more than one video because it's a whole different ballgame. These big, napping has different mindsets depending on the size of the piece and the thinness of the piece. So yeah, 20-inch is a different mindset than a 15-inch, is a different mindset than an 8-inch, a different mindset than a little 3-inch. Yeah, these are all different mindsets. He says, I'll get that headed your way. Oh, sweet. Really? Asking ye shall receive? Thanks, Danny. Wow. Let's see. Mike Mason says, I heard a joke about someone naming their Jeep Cherokee Elizabeth Warren. I wish I could remember. Oh, well. I ruined it. It's over. It's all right. Jesse says, Patrick, never saw anyone zigzag the edge on those slabs so fast with your indirect. I pressure zigzag the edge, but it takes me 10 times longer. Yeah, I can't sit there and pressure flake the slab edges or much of anything. I like to do the indirect. Yeah. But thanks for noticing. Thanks for saying that. For all the new people, they're going to go, wait a second. You nap slabs with indirect? I never saw that before. Yeah. Where you been? If you're new and you've never seen me nap a slab with indirect percussion, where you been? You've been hiding under your rocks. You got lots of rocks, but you've been hiding under them. Yeah, Alan Cole said that's a big box. Yeah, to send a 20-inch piece of obsidian, that's a big box. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool to see a 20-inch piece of obsidian dance blade. Yeah. I'd like to see that too. I got a friend that napped a, let's see. I'm trying to guess. but let me see. I think his was about, I would say 24 inches. Yeah, a 20-inch piece is the biggest that I would want at Knapp. And someone asked me, what's the biggest piece of obsidian that you would be willing to Knapp? I said, 7 inches? No, I mean the biggest, huge. I guess about 20 inches, I guess. I just threw out the number. He goes, all right. Okay. So, yeah. That's compared to this other thing. Yeah, compared to that dovetail, 20 inches is ginormous. Mike Mason says, I still never fully understood what a dance blade is. They made them in California. The Native Americans made them in California, Northern California and Oregon in the Northwest. Do they have them in museums? Let me see if I can find something really quick, like a reference to these dance blades. They call them dance blades because they were used in some dances sometimes, but just like everything else, they would use arrows and atlatl darts and atlatls. And they'd use all their weapons in the dances. These dance blades seem to catch on as a thing, quote unquote thing in popular culture. Where am I? Ferdo Joe says, good night. All right, Bushy, we'll see you later. Jim Cooper says, Paleo Man Jim and a Flintknapper Zalman both have videos doing 20-plus inch dance blades. Yeah, Flintknapper Zalman is the latest one. I've seen some of his stuff. He does some excellent work. Paleo Man Jim is an older channel, but yeah, you're right about that. Alan Cole, if I'm lucky enough to get out to the Buttes tomorrow, I'll get some big pieces for you as well. Sweet. Awesome. That would be awesome. Brutus says, I was just going to bring him up, Jim. Yeah. Alan Cole says, not tomorrow, next week. All righty. Ed Gould says, I got the black one Danny made. I think it was 16 inches and very large blade. Oh, yeah, Ed, you bought that one. Yes, you did. I remember you telling me that. Mike Mason says, so it's a ritual piece probably formed from spalling? No, they take these big nodules. Obsidian actually comes in these huge, gigantic nodules. You can get them the size of a bus. I'm not kidding. Obsidian comes in these big, huge, gigantic boulders and nodules. If weather has not broken them up. And then you just slam it with a big hammerstone back in the day to break chunks off. Yeah. Or just you stand on top of the formation of obsidian and you drop these big hammerstone rocks and it breaks off a big piece of obsidian. And then you Knapp stuff from it. It takes a while, but you can do it. Brutus says, order knives for giants. Yeah. Mike, I think those dance blades were for ceremonies, says R. Snyder. Yeah. Let's see. Brutus says Paleo Man was 23 3/4 inches. Wow. Yeah. Totally different mindset. Yes, indeed. Jesse says, I notice when dudes are spalling down those huge obsidian pieces, they turn the bopper vertical up and down and use the copper bulb more like a hammerstone striking into the platforms. Yeah. There's a fine skill. It's a fine motor skill to get those big solid copper, they're not boppers. I guess they're called billets. And they use the weight of the billet itself to come down vertically on the boulder of obsidian. And that breaks off a big spall. but it takes some practice. Jim Cooper says, Mike, they have ceremonial use, but there is another version called wealth blades that were status symbols, like owning a Ferrari or a Fabergé egg. Yeah. Mike Mason says, R. Snyder, I must agree, but also the formation is something to be curious about. All the stone removed has potential, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can use the small flakes for sure. Hey, Bill Taylor, you finally made it. Alan Cole, literally rivers of obsidian in south central Oregon. Yep. That is true. Bill Taylor. We were just talking about, I had a friend that asked me if I would make a huge obsidian blade. This was a while back. And I said, yeah. And I volunteered to make a 20-inch blade. Just, I threw out a number and he goes, okay. So I was looking, well, I was not looking. I was planning on looking for one, a big spall, big enough for a 20-inch blade when I go to Glass Buttes eventually. But I think Danny Collins is going to send me a piece, huge, gigantic nodule or a big spall. Yeah, that would be awesome. And then Alan Cole says something about that too. Or who else? I already forgot. Someone else is going to Glass Buttes. I think Alan Cole says he's going to look for one of those too. Thank you very much. R. Snyder says, Alan, that's amazing that there's so much knappable material out there. Yeah, when it comes to obsidian, we're talking huge, gigantic deposits. Bill Taylor, hey, Alan, figured you'd be at the Buttes. Yeah. Alan Cole says, maybe next week. I'm not playing with the precipitation today. Yeah. Yeah, those guys. I still got some obsidian from those guys, from Alan Cole and Bill Taylor. There are two other people that I get obsidian from, but they're not actually, they're not in Glass Buttes. They get theirs from somewhere in the mountains of California, Northern California. I think it's Northern California. Jim Cooper says, Jesse, at that size to detach spalls that big, you hit much higher on the edge to get thick, large spalls. So you're using a punching or hammering strike rather than hitting closer to the edge. Yeah. Jesse says, thanks, Jim. Makes sense. Jim Cooper says, Davis Creek, probably. Yeah, sounds familiar. Mike Mason says, well, I'll be asking the uncle if the highs are ready this weekend. Still no cracks in my eastern red cedar elm. Okay, good. Brutus says, y'all probably don't sing in the rain either. Mm-hmm. The rain is not that fun in the springtime because everything just turns to mush. Yeah, I don't plan on traveling too much. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've got to go visit my daughter next month. And if I can make the Knapping in Texas, I'll go to that as well. But it's still up in the air. Let me look at the calendar here. April, toward the end of April. Yeah, everything's happening at the same time. I got family stuff at the same time as that Knapping in April. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got almost a month. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got a month to prepare for that. Something like that. Maybe 3 weeks. We'll see what happens. I'll probably yapping about it during my videos. R. Snyder says, so it's all the different types of obsidian all mixed out there? Jim Cooper says, not all of them, but yes, there is a huge variety. John Almager, hey, would be great to see you again. And Brady, yeah, it would be good to see you too, Alan. John. Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, I look forward to going. If I can go, it's a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy that napping in Brady, Texas. Yep. It'll be good to see you. It's all individual flows, but it's everywhere, says Bill Taylor. Alan Cole says, a military 6x6 was stuck for 3 days in the mud last week. It was within 10 miles of Glass Buttes. He says, I'll wait for it to dry out. Yeah, that's muddy. You know, a 6x6 was stuck for 3 days. Yeah, that's too wet. Too much mud. So, John, you've been watching this whole live stream? I wonder who else is watching from Texas. I wonder if Danny, that N Doghouse, is watching. Ralph Snyder, sampling obsidian nodules must be like opening Christmas gifts. John says, sometimes I get online. I see. Ed Gould says, family reunion in the Arbuckles in Oklahoma in June. Usually that's about as close to Texas I'll be. Yeah. I'm going to Arkansas. My daughter lives in Arkansas. And from there, it's only like maybe 8 hours to the Knapping in Texas, or 10 hours. I can't remember. No, maybe less than that. I don't know anymore. Jim Cooper says, it definitely can be, but like any material, sometimes the package you open is socks. Yeah. Yeah, some of the obsidian that I've received from Glass Buttes, it looks good on the outside, and then you start napping it, and it's extra crispy. Yeah, I know. It's steppy and extra crispy, extra crunchy too. Alan Cole says, I'll try and send Patrick nodules to open. Yeah, send me the nodules, mystery nodules of obsidian that you haven't napped. That way, when I pop them open, it'll be a surprise. Yeah, people want to see rock to point with a mysterious rock. And they want me to break it open and open it up like a butterfly or whatever. Add some drama to the napping. Yeah. R. Snyder says, yeah, I hate socks. Jesse says, I made some tools from some of my odd-shaped obsidian nodules, some nice thumb scrapers with a nice 45-degree angle, small adze, and some punch notch SAE blades. Can't wait to test them on arrows. Yeah, I still got to finish my productivity series on that nodule of obsidian. I got that sitting there waiting for it to be finished. Jim Cooper says, that's what they hunt with, those tiny points, right? Butterflies. I don't know. Alan Cole says he'll write a few notes and art on them. Yeah, draw some pictures and funny faces and notes on nodules. Yeah. Do it. Yeah, Bill Taylor says Ellen knows all of Patrick's sayings. Yeah, he's memorized all the sayings that I come up with. Yeah. What did I miss? Robbie Bobby says, I got an order padded with adult diapers. They were clean, but still disturbing. I just threw out like 20 pounds, literally, of adult diapers that we had stored up here for my dad. Yeah, finally cleared out all those medical supplies, all the equipment and stuff this week. So it's just me and my stuff now. Yeah. Everything you see. I mean, the only stuff that's still that I got from my dad and stepmom, the lamp, the oinker lamp. That's from them. What else? Or all those dishes. You can't see the dishes. You can't see all that stuff over there. Yeah, but I took everything else out. All right, I need to remove this. We have a heater down here, little baseboard heater. I need to rip that out because they use a different thing now. I want to remodel that kitchen. I got to tear up the floors because they're all nasty. Yeah, this is a cheap bamboo floor. I got to put in some oak, I think. That's what I'd like to do, unless it's like hugely expensive. Mm-hmm. Mike Mason says, I hunt with tiny socks. Ellen Cole says, I have some of the opaque stuff I can send if I don't get out there next week. A couple with a good amount of cortex. Okay, good. I like the opaque stuff better than the other stuff, actually. Jesse says, Pat, did you find your missing pressure pad that had the nice curve to it? I just rounded mine that was made from tire rubber. It works much better. Did you find your missing pressure pad that had the nice curve to it? No, I didn't find that one. I think I threw it out. So I'll have to make another one. But I'm pretty sure I can make it easily enough because I've already made blanks in wood cut out because I was going to make about 5 or 6 at one time, but I just left them in a box. So yeah, I'll be able to duplicate it. It takes me a while to get it right, but I'll be able to duplicate it. Right now I'm using one of Mike Tuft's pads, which works very well. Oh, yes. Let's see. JF Baird, hey, you should get you a sidekick like a rat terrier. Yeah, if I could have a dog here in the house, I would do it, but I'm allergic to dogs, so I can't have him in the house. Jim Cooper says, rip it up and laminate it into a bow or two. R. Snyder, how do I know? I don't know. Should put that quote on some Jack Crafty merchandise. Yeah. I think I will. I mean, I looked into doing merch once, but I got so sick of trying to figure out a good company to go with. I signed up with one company, and they're very reasonable in price, but I never submitted any designs. The only type of design I can submit is like a photograph of a drawing. I don't have any fancy stuff to make digital drawings anymore. I'll have to buy some software, Photoshop stuff, Adobe stuff, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to spend money on that stuff. But yeah, eventually going to have to do some merchandise. I need to sell some merch. Yep. Alan Cole says, I agree, Patrick, need Mr. Barks-a-Lot 2.0. Yeah, I wish. John says, hey, so how's Kevin? I miss him. Kevin's doing well. Yeah. Him and all his siblings, they're doing actually very well. My son gives me updates every so often. He takes care of them. Alan Cole, Snyder, yes, Jack Crafty swag. Jesse says, I would order Crafty swag. Well, that's good to know. Very good. Ed Gould says, you need an on-air wall light. Oh, yeah. Back here. That'd be a good idea. That's a good idea. R. Snyder says, I'd buy some swag. Oh, dang. Everyone's going to buy some swag. Mike Mason says, in one of your recent videos, I was listening to the metal in the background and felt bad about recommending Funkadelic. I don't know. I'm picky about music. I might like the Funkadelic. You never know. Or did I already listen to it? And did I not like it? Let me see. You got to remind me if you recommended it and I listened to it and I said, nah, because I don't remember. Let's see. It made me spell a bad word. Let's see. What do we do here? Funkadelic. All right, let's listen to some of that. Yes. Is it going to play? Let me see. Hold on. Turn it down a little bit first, just in case. That doesn't do anything. I don't know. We'll see. It sounds a little folksy. Anyways, where am I? Alan Cole says, I have a friend that prints custom shirts and hoodies. She's good and cheap. Let me know, Pat. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah. Someone else printed up some stuff for me too, but it smelled like paint. So I didn't order anymore. Jesse says, I thought you were going to try Nacho on that step fracture on the last vid, but you figured out without Nacho. Yeah, actually, I can't use Nachomatic. I can't use the Nachomatic on that type of step fracture because the angles were not right. I've got to be able to hit upward, actually, on the step fracture to get rid of it. I can't hit straight in and I can't hit down. I have to hit upward on the step fracture in order to blow it away. The angles were not right. Otherwise, I would have used Nacho for the whole thing. Yeah. If it's too far inward into the piece, I usually can't get a good angle. But if the step fracture is near the edge, I can usually hit upward on the step fracture. You got to hit slightly upward in order to peel it off. Otherwise, it dives in or just makes it worse. Yeah. Just in case you want to know. Brutus says, oh, sure, ruin it for me. Mike Mason, I recommended Maggot Brain. Okay. Because I forget. Let's see. I just listened to Funkadelic and it sounded kind of folksy, so I don't listen to folksy type stuff. Let's see what Maggot Brain sounds like. If it's stoner rock, I might like it. Come on. It made me mess up. Why did it do that? Oh, okay. So that is the name of a song by Maggot Brain. Yeah, I was just listening to that one. Yeah, it's not quite what I listened to. So, Maggot Brain is a song by Funkadelic. Yeah. I didn't like it. Sorry. Let's see. Mike Mason. There it is. Alan Cole. What size shirt do you wear, Patrick? I'll send a sample with the obsidian. I wear medium. Thank you. Thank you very much, Alan. R. Snyder. If it rhymes, it's a rule. It's the law of the West. You guys are funny. You know me too well. Jordan Kirkpatrick. Longer live than usually, or is it just me? Longer live or longer live than usual? What does that mean? Cryptic messages. Robbie Bobby. Code of the West. Yeah. R. Snyder says, Maggot Brain. Yeah. Danny Collins, Lithics and Leather. Good night, everyone. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. I usually end the stream at 10, so I'm going to wind it down and then close it up. Jesse says, when I first started, I had a bad step on an arrowhead cheated and ground down the step with a Dremel and ran a couple flakes over it like fog almost. It's a cheater. Yeah. My OCD got me. I couldn't leave it. Yeah, but that's the professional trick. Professional nappers cheat to get their job done. And one of them is to grind down the step fractures and flick over the tool marks. Yeah, it works good. Let's see. Man, it's great if you're stoned. I like napping to stuff like this easy and no lyrics. I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. R. Snyder, good night. Okay, I'm gonna wind down the live stream. So everyone say good night. Everyone's saying good night. All right, approaching the finish line. Yes, but just keep Patrick distracted. We should be able to get a little extra. Yeah, it's not too hard to get me distracted. Ed Gould says nappers get their rocks. Yeah. Adios says Jordan. Smoke him if you got him, says Alan Cole. JF Baird, listen to 1001 Stoned channel. All right, I'll check that out. Way ahead of you, partner, says Brutus. Night, everybody. All right, everyone say good night. Good night, good night, good night. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Yep, you too, Jesse. All right, we'll see you guys later. It's Friday, right? The next live stream is going to be Monday. Yeah. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Monday during the auction. But I'm going to do videos before then. I have a video that shows the live stream schedule. Okay. And I renamed the video to say live stream schedule so that you just need to type in Jack Crafty live stream schedule, right? It was called update, which was kind of stupid of me to call it that. But now it's called live stream schedule. And I have live streams 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at different times of the day. All right? Okay, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for participating. And we'll see you on the next video. Good night.